Rio de Janeiro hits you before you even land. It's a feeling. A low thrum of drums you can't quite hear yet, the phantom scent of salt and grilled meat on the air. This isn't a city you visit, it's a city you plunge into. It's a riot of colour, a clash of extreme wealth, desperate poverty, all crammed together on a few spectacular strips of land between granite mountains and the deep blue Atlantic. The air is thick, humid, alive. It sticks to your skin. You're somewhere else, somewhere vibrant, somewhere that doesn't care if you're ready. This place has a pulse, a heartbeat that's part samba, part crashing wave, part the quiet hustle of a million untold stories. You come here thinking you know the place from postcards. You can't escape them. They loom over the city, silent and immense. One is a god of stone, the other a god of faith. Sugarloaf Mountain, Christ the Redeemer. They're the two big-ticket items, the postcard shots, the things your mother will ask if you saw, and you should. Cynicism has its place, but there are some views that shut even the most jaded mouths. The trick is to do it right, to understand what you're looking at. It's not just a view, it's a perspective on the beautiful sprawling madness of the city below. You go up there to understand the layout of the land, the geography of the dream. First, there's Cristo Redentor, the big guy. An Art Deco Christ with arms outstretched, perched atop Corcovado Mountain. Getting up there is part of the experience. You take a little red cog train that chugs its way up through the Tijuca forest. The city falls away below, the noise replaced by the chirping of insects and the rustle of leaves. Then you emerge at the top, and there he is. The statue itself is impressive, a feat of engineering and faith. But you're not really here for the statue. You're here for what he sees every day. The panoramic 360-degree spectacle of Rio laid out like a map at your feet. From that vantage point, you see it all. The curve of Copacabana, the lagoon, the jockey club, the dense sprawl of the Zona Sul, and the hazy, mysterious Zona Norte beyond. You see the bridges stretching across Guanabara Bay. You see the favelas clinging to the mountainsides like barnacles. It's a god's eye view that puts everything into perspective. It's also a chaotic scrum of humanity, everyone jostling for the perfect selfie with Jesus. My advice? Go early, as soon as it opens. Beat the crowds, beat the heat. Find a corner, ignore the selfie sticks for a moment, and just look. Let the sheer scale of it all sink in. Then there's Pão de Açúcar, Sugarloaf. This is a different kind of pilgrimage. 2 cable cars, a 2-stage journey into the sky. The ride itself is a thrill, a glass bubble floating over the bay. The first stop is Morro da Urca, a smaller hill with its own great views. But you push on to the main event. From the top of Sugarloaf, the perspective shifts. You're lower than Corcovado, closer to the water. You get a more intimate view of the bay, the boats, and the entrance to the harbour that the first Portuguese explorers mistook for a river. It's the perfect spot for sunset. Watching the city lights start to twinkle as the sun dips below the horizon, painting the sky in absurd shades of orange and purple. It's a cliché for a reason. It's beautiful. The beaches are Rio's grand public squares, its living rooms. They are where the city breathes. Copacabana is the grand old dame. It's a 3-mile crescent of humanity, a spectacle of life in all its forms. Kids kicking footballs with impossible skill. Muscular guys working out at the public gyms. Old women gossiping under colourful umbrellas, vendors hawking everything under the sun. The famous wave-patterned sidewalk is a river of people. It's not the cleanest beach, and it's certainly not the quietest. But it's pure, uncut Rio. It's a democratic space where everyone comes to feel the sun on their skin. Favela kid, penthouse millionaire. A little further down the coast, Ipanema is Copacabana's younger, cooler, more self-aware sibling. The sand is a little softer, the water a little cleaner, the bodies a little more sculpted. The beach is unofficially divided into tribes. Posto 9, young, beautiful, stoned. Sections for families, for the LGBTQ+ community, for surfers. It's a place to see and be seen. But it's also just a damn fine beach. Find a spot, rent a chair, rent an umbrella, and watch the show. It's the best free theatre in the world. As the sun goes down behind the Dois Irmãos mountains, you'll understand. When the sun goes down, the city's pulse quickens and the rhythm changes. The place to feel it is Lapa, Arcos de Lapa, lit at night with crowds and vendors. Rio's bohemian heart, crumbling colonial buildings, dive bars that throb with the sound of samba. Every Friday and Saturday night, the streets here are flooded with people. They come to drink cheap caipirinhas from street stalls, to listen to impromptu bands, and to dance. It's loud, it's crowded, it's a little gritty. It is absolutely essential. For a different vibe, you climb. Up into the hills above Lapa is Santa Teresa. Winding cobblestone streets, faded mansions, artist studios. The old yellow tram, the Bonde, clatters through its streets when it's working. It's a place to wander, to get lost, to pop into a small gallery, to find a quiet courtyard cafe, to look down on the chaos of the city below. Santa Teresa feels like a village that time forgot, a pocket of tranquility and creativity. It's the city's exhale after the frantic energy of the streets below. A perfect place for a slow afternoon. Section 4. Old bones, new blood? History in Rio isn't confined to dusty museums. It's written on the streets. You feel it in the colonial architecture of the Centro. You feel it in the food. You feel it in the music. The city was born from a violent collision of worlds. The Portuguese arrived in the 16th century looking for gold and glory. They found a stunning landscape. They built a port. That port became the engine of an empire fueled by sugar, then gold, and then coffee. And all of it, every last bit, was built on the backs of enslaved people, brought over in chains from Africa. You can't understand Rio, its music, its religion, its joy, without this brutal foundational truth. The Portuguese court fled Napoleon and set up shop here in 1808. Rio became the capital of a European empire. They brought their bureaucracy, their architecture, their tastes. You can still see it in the grand buildings of the Centro, the National Library, the Municipal Theatre. A layer of European formality laid over a tropical soul. But the real cultural DNA of the city comes from the fusion. The rhythms of Africa met the melodies of Portugal. The gods of the Yoruba mixed with the saints of the Catholic Church. This syncretism is everywhere, in candomblé ceremonies hidden in plain sight and in the very beat of the samba. And then there's Carnival. People think it's just a big party, an excuse for debauchery. It's more than that. A cultural explosion, the city's soul made visible. Its roots are in European Catholic traditions, but it was transformed in Afro-Brazilian communities. The samba schools, the heart of modern carnival, were born in the favelas. They are community organizations, sources of pride, outlets for incredible creativity. The parade in the Sambadrome is the culmination of a year's work, a competition of epic proportions. where communities tell stories through music, costume, and dance. It's a spectacle, sure, but a spectacle with deep, deep roots. Today, Rio is a modern megacity, grappling with all that entails. The inequality is staggering and impossible to ignore. A constant battle between order and chaos, beauty and decay, but also a place of incredible resilience and creativity. A city that perfected living in the moment, finding joy in the face of hardship. From the bossa nova cool of the 60s to funk karaoke blasting from favela speakers today, Rio is always reinventing itself, always creating, always moving to a beat entirely its own. Section 5, what you eat here, what you drink. To understand Rio, you have to eat it. The food here isn't fussy. It's not about delicate foams or microscopic herbs. It's about big flavors, honest ingredients, and the pleasure of a shared meal. The quintessential dish is feijoada, slow-cooked stew of black beans, sausage, ribs, bacon, salted and dried bits you're better off not identifying. It's rich, it's heavy, it's profound. Traditionally served on Saturdays, comes with rice, farofa, toasted cassava flour, shredded kale, orange slices to cut the richness. Find a traditional boteco. Order a feijoada for two. Settle in. This is not a meal. It's an event. Street food is the city's pulse. Keep an eye out for the vendors. Pão de queijo. Warm, chewy, cheesy balls. Cafezinho. Tiny, strong, sweet coffee. Pastelarias and pastéis frying, filled with ground meat. Cheese. Hearts of palm. Espetinho. Skewered grilled meat, dusted with cassava flour. Queijo, coalho na brasa, grilled cheese on a stick with oregano. You can't walk 10 feet without seeing a sign for açaí. Amazonian berry blended into thick purple puree. Skip the sweetened, granola-topped versions. Get the real deal at a juice bar. Less sweet, more earthy. Have it plain. Or with banana. It's cold, it's refreshing. The perfect antidote to oppressive midday heat. At the juice bar, scan the menu, cashew fruit, acerola, passion fruit, guava. Forget your orange juice. Be adventurous. The national cocktail, caipirinha, cachaça, muddled lime, sugar. A good one, tart, sweet, brutally strong. A bad one, a sugary nightmare. Show interest. They'll make it with care. And of course, beer. Always estupidamente helada. Stupidly cold. Light lagers like Brahma or Antarctica. Frosty bottles in the Rio heat. Pure pleasure. Section 6, the when and the how. 2026 edition. When should you go? The easy answer, any time. But you want the right answer for you. It all depends on what kind of punishment you're looking for. Dive headfirst into the glorious, beautiful, maddening chaos of Carnival. Then go in February. In 2026, the main event runs Friday the 13th to Tuesday the 17th. The city transforms. Sensory overload, music, sweat, glitter. Samba drone parades are epic. The real soul is in the blockos. Street parties everywhere. Not for the faint of heart. It's crowded. It's expensive. Book everything months, maybe a year, in advance. If that much humanity sounds terrible, you have other options. The shoulder seasons are your friend. April through June is a sweet spot. Rains have subsided, humidity drops, crowds thin, warm enough for the beach, the city breathes easier. September to November, another great window. Spring weather is beautiful. The city buzzes without full-blown insanity. Flights and hotels are cheaper. You'll see the real city, not the stage version. Summer, Dekmar, is brutally hot and humid. Peak season even outside Carnival. Beaches packed with Brazilians and Argentinians, beaches shoulder to shoulder, bars overflowing. Expect afternoon thunderstorms that can flood streets fast. Winter, June-Og, is mild. You might need a light jacket at night. Ocean is colder. More grey days. Least crowded time of year. Great for museums. Great for hiking. Great for exploring city culture. Practicalities for 2026. Pack light, shorts, t-shirts, flip-flops. Buy Havaianas there. Bring one nicer outfit for a fancy dinner. Pack a rain jacket, always. Sunscreen is mandatory. Learn a few Portuguese phrases. Por favor. Obrigado. Uma cerveja. Por favor. It goes a long way. People will appreciate the effort. Ditch big bills. Carry small change for vendors and buses. Time here is fluid. Things run on Rio time. Relax. You're not in Zurich. Have another beer. Section 7, a word to the wise. Let's be clear about something. Rio is not Disneyland. It's a real city with real problems. You hear the stories, the street crime, the robberies. A lot of it is true. But being paranoid is no way to travel. Being smart is. Here's your one big safety tip. Don't be an idiot. Don't walk around dripping in expensive jewellery. Don't flash your brand new iPhone on a dark street. Leave your passport in the hotel safe. Carry a copy. At night, stick to well-lit areas where there are other people. If you're going out in Lapa, take a licensed taxi. Or take a rideshare back to your hotel. Don't be a target. Pay attention to your surroundings. It's the same advice I'd give you for any major city in the world. Now for the budget. Rio can be as expensive or as cheap as you want it to be. Stay in a fancy hotel in Ipanema. Eat at Michelin-starred restaurants. You'll burn through cash. If you want to do it on the cheap, it's easy. Eat and drink like a local. Have your main meal at a restaurant per kilo. Pay by the weight of your food. Load up on a huge varied plate for a few bucks. Drink beer and caipirinhas at corner botecos, not the fancy beachfront bars. Use the metro. Use the bus system. They're cheap and surprisingly efficient. The beaches, the street parties, the people watching are free anyway. So what's the takeaway here? Rio is complicated. It's a city of intoxicating beauty and heartbreaking inequality, of laid-back charm and sudden violence. It can lift you up to the highest highs and show you some uncomfortable truths. It's not a simple, easy vacation. It's an experience. It's a story you'll be telling for a long time. It asks you to engage, to look beyond the surface, to feel its rhythm. It will get into your blood, and you'll be glad it did. As always, like, subscribe, and follow for more content. Peace out.